Well, Coach, the last two jobs you had with the Magic and then with the Pistons were all Stan Van Gundy, and I know also Jeff Van Gundy. So you had kind of a relationship, I guess, with the Van Gundy family. I think you told me once that they were like the hardest working guys that you knew. They had a tremendous work ethic. So talk about those final 5 seasons with Stan Van Gundy, and then 2 seasons with the Pistons. They were both Stan Van Gundy head coach teams, but I guess that's almost a lifelong, maybe basketball camp thing that you started many years prior.
Well, yeah, it's funny about Jeff Van Gundy. he was he had a his father started coaching out in California, and then he got a job in up in the Rochester area in New York, and so they had to make a major change going from sunny California from the snowy winters of Rochester. But he came down to 5 star, and there's a draft. You watch kids play, and you pick your teams and all that. And Brad Greenberg came up to me and said, "If you need a point guard, I have a point guard that's in." They had the NBA, the NCAA, and the NIT section, and he was in the NCAA section. Says you could probably use him. So it was Jeff Van Gundy, and I used him as the good players played on the second and fourth quarters, and the backups who played the first and third. And Timmy O'Shea was one of the better point guards in the camp, and he was playing the second and fourth quarter. As the week went on, Jeff Van Gundy was playing in the second, fourth quarter because he could run a team. He was very smart. He wasn't as athletically gifted as Timmy was, but you could always tell that he was a smart player. And he so when I got the job at Rhode Island, and I interviewed him because he was working as an assistant at your Rutgers, I didn't pick him, and it's ironic that when I got the job, and when he got jobs, let's say with the Knicks after my we were let go in Detroit, he hired me, which was interesting. And then when I was out of a job, I interviewed with Stan Van Gundy at Orlando, and he picked me to be his assistant. And like you said, totally dedicated basketball people, very influenced by their father, and they're very bright, very hardworking, and you can tell that Coach Stan. He had a tough year this year with the New Orleans Pelicans, but you could tell that his handprint was on the team just by how organized they really were. But anytime you went into a game, if you were a coach, you had to be prepared for a Stan Van Gundy team. And we, and they're both very giving, very giving people. Um, they're very empathetic to coaches who are out of a job. So, like when Don Cheney and I were fired by the Knicks, the first night, I got a job from Stan Van Gundy. No,
Wow.
Jeff Van Gundy, and he invited me down. He was coaching Houston, so I flew down to Houston, and I was with him for over a week as he was in the playoffs, and I was at all his practice and all that. Of course, they were guys who really cared about coaches.